Through the preliminary research on Olympic legacy use strategy and several cases of Olympic stadiums, we find that whether such a mega project function well depends not only on stadium itself, but depends on the social context it sits in and whether it could respond to the actual needs of this region and society properly. Sitting in the residential community, benefiting from the nearby transportation network, we can say that Gabba Stadium is a downtown stadium. The stadium reinforces the entertainment images of the city. It is a place for celebration, drama, entertainment beyond only competitions. But here is our question: could it do more? Could it functions 24/7 and involve with the urban daily life? If we look at the detailed analysis of this precinct, we can find more people will live here, more dwelling will be erected, more visitors will come. And the government is expecting a good place to live, a better communal space. This site situation decides celebrating and living should somehow interact and interweave together. So we started with two atmospheres we learned from the Sydney Opera House and how we can combine them. Architecturally, these two atmospheres requires two different qualities to the place. One is spectacle and another one is amiability. To achieve spectacle, we separate the roof, which will look light and white, like a cloud floating above the stadium. Two pylons will lift the roof, and the high and dramatic pylons will be a sign of the stadium and a landmark of Brisbane. To achieve amiability, the large accessible roof will be an urban plaza for the public to hang out and exercise. And the platforms and huge gap of the stand will disintegrate the massing of the stadium to make it more inviting. Despite the stadium will directly influence its adjacent community, Olympic game can also be a collective legacy for the whole city. Thus, we tried to search for an inspiration that can be the icon of Brisbane in a broader urban scale. The Brisbane River instantly prominent. The Turrbal nation of Aboriginal people have inhabited the shores of the Brisbane River for up to 40,000 years. To them, the river is a resource for food and an important location for spiritual and recreational purposes, as the people had gatherings at the best fishing locations. Now, the river is a place for transportation, public events, social gatherings, sports and leisure. Thus, bridges are the core of these activities, which is amiability, and their magnificent structure can be seen as the spectacle. Taking bridges as our form inspiration, a research of bridge typologies in Brisbane is conducted to determine the suitable design for our stadium. Cable-stayed and suspension bridges are the current mainstream typologies. These systems are also used in the proposed Green Bridges project. The previous research on the Brisbane River and gives us inspiration for the form of the stadium. And the next step for us is to interweave the idea of the bridge with our conceptual design. So we combine the form of the bridge and our floating roof to create a typical section of the stadium. But we cannot put a pylon in front of the stand, so the pylons have to locate on one side. And we also replace the vertical pylons with inclined pylons to let the roof look more floating. Thus, two sets of identical pylons support the roof. After a series of structural experiments with physical models, we have developed a primary structure solution consisting of 3 pylons and 2 types of cable systems. The final design of our cable system is divided into 2 typologies. Cable stay system is used at the taller outer side, while the inner side uses suspension structure, which has a softer visual perception. Due to the narrow and linear site context, the stadium has to be oriented in west-east direction, resulting in many spectators facing to northern and western Sunday. Thus, our spectator terraces are splitted into 3 sections. The majority of seats are placed along northern and northwestern side of the field to avoid direct sunlight. The main entrance is on level 2 at the west of the stadium, facing the park and the train station, with platforms inviting people from 3 directions. The accessible roof area will be an urban plaza where people can hang out or exercise. And the roof can be divided into 4 zones with 2 different atmospheres, quiet and active. Zone 2 is the entrance of the roof with elevators and a stair. Zone 1 is an active space that is the largest part of the roof. This area is a place for people to gather or hold small markets. Because this zone is at the west of the stadium, it has a great view of the CBD, especially during sunset. Zone 3 is a quieter space with sunshades above. 2 runways, where people can exercise, run through this area. The green space on the inner side will avoid people from looking into the field directly, while people can enjoy beautiful views from the resting area on the outer side. Zone 4 is also supported by columns below. So this area is suitable for small trees and shrubs, while other zones can only have light and short species like grass. When people walk or run through the green space, they will have a sense of running through a forest. Below the roof, we separate the programs into 3 types. The red area is for the players and staff. The yellow area is for the general service, and the white is for entertainment and marketing. Except the game times, the white and yellow area will all accessible to the public for better living and better leisure. Through a comparative analysis of 5 architectural projects of similar scale and typologies, we determined the most suitable pylon structure and construction method for this design. The shape of the pylon was also optimized according to its bending moment due to its self-weight. In addition, we designed the roof structure in detail to reduce its visual perception and appears to be floating while achieving structural feasibility. As the construction site is located in a narrow urban area of Brisbane, we designed the most practical construction sequence, especially considering that the roof uses 2 cable systems with completely different construction logic. Additionally, all primary structural joints were carefully designed to not only consider the direction of rotation required for the construction and use of the pin joints, but also using a unique design to minimize the visual impact of the massive pylon on its surroundings. Our design achieved 2 goals of SDG. The first one is Goal 3, good health and well-being. The second goal is Goal 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure.